I got these at Lowe's, and the link to the actual model number and everything is in the PDF if you guys want to check them out. But I did shop around, but we got beautiful even light all the way across, and it's daylight bound, or it's a little warmer than daylight. It's about 4,000 K, so like a white-ish household color. So I saw this, and I'm thinking, all right, well, that's kind of cool, a little strip light, you know, do some side lighting or something like that. And I said, well, if I put two of them together, then I get like a double strip light. And then I was like, well, why not put four and make a ring light? Make a giant ring light out of the whole thing, which would be really, really cool. The nice thing about the LEDs is that they're not as fragile as the fluorescents. So I shipped these over in a box to get them here. No problem. LEDs, you really have to just step on them to actually break them. And it's fairly lightweight and pretty simple. So one reason these are cheap, 35 bucks instead of, the closest thing I could find to this when I started looking around after I found these, I'm like, and I started looking around, and the closest thing I could find was 70 bucks for a similar, but they weren't as compact as these. So there may be others out there, but as far as what limited research I've done, this is about half the price of anything else out there. They're from a Lowe's hardware store. So they're 35 bucks because they're designed to be ceiling mounted and there's no plugs on them, so you have to put these plugs. And that's really easy to do. You just buy the separate plug. It costs a couple, $3. And the wires are already stripped. You just need to pop them through this hole, screw it on with a little screwdriver, and you've got a plug. All right? If you wanted to, you could go ahead and attach a whole longer cord to it, but I just attach my extension cords, boom, right into it, right like that. So to make this into a ring light, I wanted to have a way to mount it to a light stand. So what I did do was actually to screw in a regular spigot. We've been using these for a lot of different things. Screw that right into one of the existing holes. And then on the inside, you pop off your actual bulb section here. Inside, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've got a lock nut and it's called like a spider washer. Spider's like the little jaggy washers, so it doesn't move. Yeah, so I have a spider washer on this side underneath the spigot, and then a lock nut on this side. And that ensures that once I yard this down and get it nice and tight, when I put it on the light stand, it's not going to pivot one way or another and swing it with one or the other. Okay, so then the cords, you just pop them through to attach there. I drilled holes. I'll show you, I'm going to put the L brackets on them. We drilled holes. One little note of caution when you're drilling your holes, make sure the wires are out of the way when you start drilling, because you could drill right through one of your wires, so just kind of move them out of the way when you start to drill. And then you're good to go. So now we'll put the brackets on here. Okay, so we'll lay these out. Two with the spigots will go on the sides. And I've already marked these because once I've attached my brackets, they have to kind of match up. It's supposed to go on this side. So the holes will align. So those are going to go there. That one's going to go there. And this one is D. It's going to go there. So the key thing for the brackets is these are just, again, hardware store. I just went and looked for some L brackets and some sheet metal screws and some washers. These are not washers. These are just all I could find instead of washers. So I'm just using them as washers. And basically what you want to do is to just find a place to attach these brackets on your light, like so. And drill the holes and put it all together. Caitlin, can I have your hands here? You just kind of hold this so it doesn't fall down here. All right, so I put the washers on here so that the screws don't sink too far down. Push it up right by the hole's peeking through. No.
Here it is.
There. Lovely bits. Who gave me this drill? This is one of your practical jokes on me now? Very funny. Who's behind this one? Yeah, I like it. All right, let's move on over here. We're getting the bracket number 2 on.
I thought I was hoping.
You know what you could do? You could start getting the bracket lined up for the other ones there. And we'll just jump on over to that one as soon as I'm done here. Yay!
Kevin, Shannon McKenna Photography says, I'd love to find a version of these lights that are battery powered instead of plug-in. Does that exist?
Yes, good question. You know what's kind of cool is that this work, because LEDs are such a low power draw, I actually have a battery pack from Alien Bees. They have this little portable battery pack with regular plugs, household plugs. And I plugged this thing right into that, and it actually powers it for a long time. And that'd be something you could take anywhere, out in the middle of a field and shoot with it. It'd be kind of interesting. You don't really see that very often. So yes, you could definitely put a battery pack, if you get the kind of battery pack that has household plugs for it. The main reason it does work is that the LEDs are very low power draw. All right, I just need one more bracket to hold this thing up.
And if you were a super electronic savvy, perhaps, from Phil Flash, could you wire the plugs together so you just have one plug?
Totally, yeah, you could wire them all together. And the reason I didn't wire them together is that I envision using it sometimes separately. I've also put them, like 4 of them lined up together. And then like I had them packed up with a strap and 4 together. And that makes a really nice, big, bright strip box by itself, real nice, soft for a one light, typical light. So I wanted the option to be able to separate them, maybe just use 1, 2, or 3, or 2 here and 2 here. So that's why I left them separate. But if you knew you were just going to stick with the ring light,
cool.
Go ahead and wire them all into one. It makes it a lot easier. Okay. Okay, Caitlin, if you could come on back out here. And we're gonna lift and separate. Ready? So I'm gonna turn this, see that spigot's gonna go into your thingamajig on that side, so let go of your bottom. Yeah, we're gonna have to turn this whole thing around once we get it. We'll face it to the camera so they can see what we're doing here so far. And just plop that in there and tighten it up. Got it? Okay, so there's your dealio. Hi! Da, 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 da. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna grab this side, Caitlin, and we're gonna do a 180 on this sucker. You go that way, I'll go this way. And we'll start plugging in. These are super heavy. They're These are the craziest extension cords ever, so go ahead and find a place to plug that. Big old fatties, but hey, they work. Ooh, that's bright. All right. Shocking. How much of this of the lights can we drop on the studio here? Can you drop a little bit?
Sure can.
Drop a little of the overheads. All right, so you have a ring light. Now there's no hard and fast rule and as far as like where to use, how to set up, but generally what we're looking for is that kind of cool catch light around the eyes. It's going to create just a soft wrapping light around the face. You could even do some full length kind of things. We're going to experiment with moving it. Traditionally, a ring light, when it's a small ring light, you can move the person against the background and you get that sort of soft shadow all the way around their body, which is kind of the distinguishing mark of the ring light, you know. Whereas this one is more about the actual light that it does on her face. So come on out again, lovely Danielle.